but I've taught this material in a number of settings. And I often have people say, JD, this is great, but it's not just for LGBT people. Like everyone can benefit from having stronger leadership presence. And at times I've adapted this material and I've delivered it for other marginalized groups. But there's something distinct about what we go through in our community as we step into leadership roles that just frankly makes it harder. When I saw this post yesterday on the Jam, and I reached out to Scott and I told him that I was going to share this. Scott was one of the people who was a subject matter expert, and he started this post. I'm not sure how well you can read it, but I'll read parts of it to you. He asked the question, for most of my working life and still today, I still tussle with, am I good enough? Should I be the one doing this? Do I have the gravitas? Is there somebody better to do it? Are they only hearing gay, gay, gay when I talk? And this post moved me so much because he started a very rich conversation about what it takes to have gravitas in the workplace. And that there are times that gravitas or fit are used as codes for we're not welcome in the C-suite or we're not welcome in a leadership role. And if you have time, I urge you to go back and look at the discussion that this prompted yesterday. But when I saw his question, is the imposter syndrome a bigger issue for LGBTQ plus folks? I thought, yeah, it totally is a bigger issue for us. And we often don't have access to the role models or the leaders or the people that can help us pursue this differently. And so I pose to you this question, thinking through when we have had that experience of being marginalized, what then can we do about it? Well, the first place that I begin is that I want to encourage people to start just with a canvas that is a blank page. This isn't a mistake. The slide that you're seeing right now should be just a plain white slide. I feel that the canvas that we need to start from is the canvas of authenticity. I never, in the teaching, coaching, and work that I do, want to create copycat speakers that every move and every statement and every inflection is identical to all of the other great speakers that are out there. I actually think we disserve ourselves if we don't bring our authentic selves into the room. And so the model that I'm about to build in front of you, I lovingly call the lavender diamond. But it is a model that is painted on a canvas of authenticity. So keep that in mind as we begin to look at this model. So the work that I have done, both with senior leaders in companies, elected officials, senior leaders in nonprofits, and rising leaders, junior folks that are coming in, I've played a lot with the language around what it is that we need to bring forth. And I've ultimately settled on there being 4 elements of LGBTQ plus leadership presence. And I love alliteration, so they all start with the letter C: confidence, competence, connection, and clarity. Now, the way this radar is built, the aspiration, that dream would be the perfect lavender diamond, that we score high on confidence, competence, connection, and clarity at all times. And that doesn't happen. What ends up happening is that this shape may look more pointed or leaning in one direction. We may be lower on clarity, but higher on connection. And in different settings, and I've even done this where at a conference, I've had people evaluate the speakers they've already seen across these 4 dimensions, because at times we may, in different audiences, exercise each of these differently. The goal is for you to recognize in the situation where you're communicating what is most needed of the tools in my toolkit and what's the largest real estate I could get out of those 4 dimensions. Let's start with the very first one, which is clarity. Being sure that the message you deliver is not just received, but that it's understood and ideally even acted upon. Now, I love this quote from Einstein early in his career. Now, he never saw PowerPoint, he never saw Zoom, never saw Prezi or Minty, but he said, people who make things more complicated actually make them more violent. Now, I've been in some meetings that I've experienced death by PowerPoint, so I know a little bit of what he's talking about. But later in his career, he said it even better. Make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. I never urge that you dumb down your message for the audience, but it is important as a leader that you make your message accessible, that people can understand it, recall it, and act upon it.